you to graph it. I want you to type this in into your calculator, regardless of whether or not you already have this, okay? So let's all type in this equation on page 9. What format is it in? I think we can answer that. This is general form. Which way is this opening? Down, because A is negative, right? A is negative. A is always located in front of x squared, guys. So if it's scrambled, make sure you don't always grab the first number. The width of this, we consider, guys, when it comes to the width, do not consider the negative, okay? Just the value. So this is going to be a wide or a narrow? Wide. Because it's between 0 and 1. I'm literally saying you're somewhere between 0 and 1 here. So that's, without doing any further, that's what we already figured out. Let's enter this thing into our calculators. Negative 200, right? Like that's the y-intercept is way in the negative 200s, right? Just by looking at that. So let's graph it. This is what I got from the last one I just did. However, let's imagine, I don't know where you're at, guys. I don't know. I'm trying for you to not get lost with this lesson, so I'm going to go zoom 6. Let's do a standard window. I just see a little bit of the leg there. Okay, so I'm going to do zoom fit. So if you're lost, this can help you out. Zoom fit doesn't do a very good job. You notice that? I see the y-intercept and that's about it. So zoom fit is not a very good. So now I have to, now this is where you come in and you change your window. I'm going to change my X max to, let's say, 50. I want to see more to the right. There we go. I see the leg going up and I see the leg coming down. Perfect. I want to see more at the top. So I'm going to go window. Top or bottom is a Y issue. Right? Oops. Sorry guys, I made a mistake there. Y max. It's at 0 right now. So I'm going to go, what should I go? 200, 100? 200 you're saying? Okay, yeah, sorry, I should have listened to you. 200. There you go. So if you're like, what did you do? What did you do? Here's my window right there. That's what I did. Yours may look a little different, but remember, as long as you see the points, you're fine. Stop messing around with your window. Okay, you're good. What I don't like is this. Some students do this. Like their Y min is like negative 2,000, let's say. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but just so you know, like you're seeing so much into the negative Y's. That's why it looks different. Your graph looks different, but trust me, you're still looking at the same curve. So I'm going to go back and change this to negative 500 as zoom fit had originally done. Okay, so this is what I have. The y-intercept, I'm not going to find it using my calculator. I'm just going to go 0, negative 200 because I knew that it was negative 200. Okay, I just know because it's in general form, but you can use your calculator if that makes you feel better. Value, sorry. X is equal to 0. Okay. Vertex, let's find the vertex. What is it, a second trace max or min? Crickets, crickets. Second trace max, right? I think you all agree with that. Left boundary, if this is my vertex, I'm just going to make sure I'm to the left. Then I'm going to travel over to the right. Enter, enter again, and there it is. It's 25, 112.5. Do you remember what the axis of symmetry is? it cuts your parabola in half, right? So if this is my parabola, it cuts it in half, okay? So it's the x, it's just the equation that looks like this. X is equal to 25. This is an equation. Right? It cuts my parabola in half. It's governed by the x value. Equation of the minimum or the max. In this case, we have a max. So if this is your parabola, it's the horizontal line that also goes through my vertex. And that is given to me by the y value of the vertex. Yeah?
Is that always the x and y value?
Always. So if I gave you the axis of symmetry and the equation of the min and max, you should immediately be able to put those together and give me the vertex, right? These make up the vertex. So this line goes through this y value and this line goes through the x value. So combined, they give you what we call the vertex, okay? We did that on a couple days ago, so it's not very important today, to be honest, not for what I'm trying to do here. Let's find the x-intercepts. We let y2 equal 0, then we go second, trace, intersect. So let's do that. I did that, I graph it, then I go second, trace, intersect. I go closer to that one, enter, enter, enter. That's 10, 0. And the other one, second trace 5, travel over, enter, 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 40, 0. Domain and range, more about that later. Okay? So here's the part, this is the new part I want you to be able to do. Once you find, these are the most important points, let's highlight them. I maybe did that already on the video. If you didn't highlight it, now is the time. I would say the vertex and the y-intercept, as well as the x-intercept, or intercepts. Those 3 points are a must. Like they have to show up on your graph. They have to. And now we're going to graph that right here. So I will most likely give you a grid most of the time, not always. But at the very least, I want you to put arrowheads on all the axes, okay, on all ends. I want you to label the axes. So in this case, it's just x and y. It's your y-axis. This is your x-axis. Sorry, you can't see that. There you go. And now is the scaling part. Scaling part. I want you to look at your x-intercepts. These tell you how much space you need sideways, okay? These ones determine what I call the x-scale. Write that down, okay? I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you can see it and the graph. So 10 and 40, right? 10 and 40 would be somewhere in here. They're both positive, none of them is negative. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up by tens. So if I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, if I go up by tens, that is actually going to make these fit into my graph. So my scale today, Mr. Dirksen is picking 10, and I'm being consistent. Please clearly mark where you're labeling these points. And I'm going to show a few going to the left as well. Even though right now we're not even going to use the negative value. So x scale is 10. I chose 10, okay? Now my y scale. This is going to determine your y scale. You're going to get pretty good at it after a while. What's the lowest y value that you need to include? Negative 200, right? So let's see here. If I go 50, 100, 150, 200, that would work, right? Mr. Erickson, what if I go, hold on, I'm going to change it. What if I went negative 100, negative 200, like I went 100 at a time consistently? Would that work? Yes, it would work. The reason I'm going to do 50 is because of this. Watch, just go. I'm consistent. Mr. Erickson, but it's different than your X scale. You went by 10s here, and you're going by 50s here. Is that okay? It is okay, as long as you're consistent. I don't want to see 50 here, and all of a sudden you're going up by 10s up on your positive y-axis, right? So this would mean this is 50, this is 100, this is 150, this is 200, okay? So my y scale is 50. And now let's plot those points. 0, negative 200. And remember, you have an eraser, okay? If you need to erase, start over. If it doesn't fit, no big deal. 0, negative 200 is right here. Let's make a point there. 25, 112. Where's 25 at? 25 would be, like if this is the x value, 25, it's somewhere between 20 and 30, and I'm going up to 112.5, which is right about there. And I'll tell you something, if you have to kind of guess, close enough is good enough. But when it's exactly, we want it to be exactly where it should go. You know what I mean? So close enough is good enough because it's like between 20 and 30. I went up there, and 112. This would be 110, so 112 would be right about there. So we're not going to mark this wrong if it's a little bit off. Okay? We've got this, we've got that, and now let's plot our x-intercepts. 10, 0, and this one is 40, 0. And now let's connect the dots. 1 second, I'll be right. So let's connect the dots. So this is, you gotta be, here's where the artistic part comes in. Please don't go, like don't make a V. You kind of want to, I always start at the vertex and I just go out a bit and then I curve. And it's okay to go past, right? That's one of the legs, and then you try to replicate and make it look symmetrical. So I'll start back on the vertex, and I go out a little bit, and I try to make it, you will see that this is symmetric, so they should look the same on both ends if you were to fold them over. And last but not least, if you want full marks, it's going to cost you half a mark, you label the actual equation as well. So things to look for is labels, scale, and shape. By shape I mean are the points where they belong. These are the three things, even in grade 12, that I always want you to think about. Okay? Do I have labels? Do I have appropriate scale? And are the points where they should be? And if you graph this and you're like, wait a minute, like why is this way over here? That would not be a parabola at all. It would just like look wonky. That should tell you something, right? Like something needs to be fixed. All right. I want you to try 9 all the way to 11. I mean, 9 I already did. 10 and 11. And let me cut you a little bit of a, I think I already did this in the homework. But for right now, the most important thing, if you go to 10, the most important ones, I put stars on those items to figure out the y-intercept, the vertex, and the x-intercepts. Okay, these are the three important pieces that I want you to find. tell me the keystrokes. Then I want you to transfer it over and actually do a paper format of this. Sorry. That was my timer yesterday to go see the chiropractor. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to leave it at that. Please, right now, you've got 10 minutes, 8 minutes, because the time is off. The bell is going to go in 8. Try to find these already. If you have them already, transfer it over to this grid and make sure it works. Do the same thing for 11. And I will expect you, I'll do an AC on this tomorrow. It is what it is, okay? What's that? Oh, yeah. I will send one home. It's just one question. So your homework is these 2 pages. I will check them as it was recording that. It was recording it. So your homework is pages 10 to 11, but now you need to graph plus AC, okay? That's going to be your homework.